This is a First Defense Weather Alert.
And good evening to you. It is 4 minutes, actually 3 minutes until 7 o'clock. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter with Andrew Stevenson in the First Defense Weather Center. And we're keeping our eyes on a line of showers and storms that are coming through the area. And we have a severe thunderstorm warning that is currently in effect for Chautauqua County. It is this orange polygon you see right here. Now, this was issued for a storm that was actually near Clymer, that is now near, it looks like it is now near Frewsburg going into Cattaraugus County, and this storm has had some history of possibly producing some damaging winds and some hail. And in the current update to the severe thunderstorm warning, the Weather Service is saying that tornado is possible within this storm because there is some signs of some rotation. And as a matter of fact, if we can take very quickly, if we can take the high-res radar off WEXO 2, I'll show you it. This is what they're looking at right here. That could be some area where the storm is starting to rotate. So that could be what could be some rotation. Now, please keep in mind, just because there's some rotation there does not necessarily mean that there's a tornado here. Again, this radar beam is several thousand feet off the ground down here, so we don't know if there's a tornado there or not. But again, there's no tornado warning. It is a severe thunderstorm warning, and that goes until 7:30 tonight. As these pop-up storms have been coming through the area. And we told you about this, how we were likely going to deal with these storms that were going to come through the area today. And this is likely what we were going to expect, was these pop-up showers and storms. Now, I'll actually show you here. I'll put the standard radar data back on here to show you that what we're looking at also is this line of showers and storms that are across Lake Erie. And you can see there's currently a warning up for the Buffalo Metro, but we're also keeping our eyes on this line because as this line comes across the Lake Erie and hits Western New York, there is the chance that we could deal with some severe thunderstorms within this. But again, the lake water is down into the 50s, so that's relatively cold. So there's a chance that a lot of this may start to actually be ripped apart by the colder lake water. So we're going to have to keep our eyes on that as that moves in. Let's go back to First Defense Doppler, and we'll show you again who's in this warning. Now, please understand that severe weather warnings are not issued on a county basis. You might hear your county name mentioned, but that does not mean that your whole county is under a warning. You can see here, this orange area right here is what's called the polygon. And if you're not in this polygon, you don't need to do anything. So if you're in Dunkirk watching us, if you're in Cassadaga, Fredonia, you don't need to do anything. You're not in this severe thunderstorm warning. It is for this southern end right here from, I'd say, Jamestown. Actually, the western portion of that actually is clear. So from Panama on west, you're fine. It's mainly going to be Jamestown out to the east, going out into Randolph. And this is the area that is under the warning as of right now. Now, please keep in mind, there actually is a severe thunderstorm watch that is in effect for Erie, Crawford, and Warren counties in Pennsylvania. It does not include any part of Western New York. Storm Prediction Center has not stated if they will extend that watch, but it's all these counties you see here shaded in pink. That is a severe thunderstorm watch that goes until 10 o'clock tonight. Does not include any part of Western New York. Want to make that clear. No part of Western New York is under a severe thunderstorm watch as of right now. It is for Erie, Crawford, Warren, and all the other counties here shaded in pink. Now, because we have the severe thunderstorms rolling through, does not always mean you'll get a watch. Again, watches are issued based on a widespread basis. This is more localized, and this is what we've been keeping our eyes on, these pop-up showers and storms that have been coming through. And again, our main concern is going to be this storm you see right here that is now kind of crossing over into Cattaraugus County. It's crossing over 86, and that could be some maybe some hail could be within that. Note the purple core right in there. You can see that could be what could be some hail. I'm going to look at that very quickly on a product we call vertically integrated liquid, or it stands for VIL, and it's a good measure of hail. And yeah, we do have a little bit of hail right in here. Let's go back to the high-res radar off WEXO 2, and I'll show you the hail that's possibly falling. And it is going to be right in here, you can see where you see this red and this orange and this yellow color. That could be some hail that could be possibly up to the size of maybe quarters. Again, this warning also was issued for quarter-sized hail, so there could be some hail definitely within that. And Ville, essentially, it's highly scientific, but essentially this is a good product to show you hail. The darker the colors here, or the brighter the colors, that indicates the better chance of hail. And so there could be some hail within that. Checking the comments very, very quickly. Sandy says, hi from Kansas, been having rain for the last 2 weeks. And yes, the Plains has been dealing with a lot of severe weather problems recently. And this pattern doesn't show signs of stopping anytime soon. SPC has convective outlooks out up until, I think, for another 5 days. They have the outlooks that have been issued. So I want to thank everybody for joining us on our weather coverage tonight. We know it's a Saturday evening and all of us are getting ready for the holiday weekend, but again, this was pretty much as forecast. We told you about this over the past couple weeks. And see, you should always silence your phone before you go live on the air. There's one for the blooper reel. You should always silence your phones before you go live on the air. I have no idea who that was calling me, but I can't take a phone call when I'm on the air. So anyway, let's take a look at yeah, let's, now that phone call just screwed me all up, but anyway, you're looking at here the high res, where there's First Defense Doppler, and anyway, you can see here that they've actually updated the warning. They've trimmed the westernmost section of that warning out of the polygon. Obviously, since the storm is moving away from the polygon, they have adjusted the polygon accordingly to only include this part of the area that is under the gun. Now, the severe thunderstorm warning for Warren and Crawford, for Erie and Crawford counties in Pennsylvania has actually been allowed to expire, so that is no longer in effect. We are still dealing with a severe thunderstorm warning for Chautauqua and Cattaraugus counties. That's this polygon you see right here. And again, there could be some hail in that. And actually, the radar system has a hail pendant on that. I don't know if you can hover over that, maybe click on that and see what we've got. So it's showing hail size of about 1 inch. Do we have a storm track on that where we can click on that? If it's not showing a storm track, we probably won't be able to click on it. Okay, that's fine. So essentially what this hail pendant means right here is that the radar system is showing, yeah, there we go. We can put the storm tracks on there. And let's see. Where is the beginning of this storm track? If you go to, if you just click on that, if you click on it, it should pop up. Okay, that's fine. It's obviously not going to cooperate with us today. But anyway, this is what the radar system is suggesting. It's actually showing hail size of about 1 inch, and that's quarter-sized hail. And 1 inch hail is classified as severe-sized hail, and that is what makes a storm severe. And again, we mention this all the time, but what makes a storm severe is wind gusts 58 miles per hour or greater, hail 1 inch in size or larger, that's the size of a quarter, or a tornado. That is what makes a thunderstorm severe. Heavy rain, lightning, that's not severe characteristics by definition. But these storms could be producing some could be some heavy rain within this, and there definitely could be some a lot of lightning within this. As a matter of fact, I've been hearing thunder rattle the rafters here in the studio from time to time. We're actually located downtown in Jamestown. We're actually located in the Spain building, downtown Jamestown, and I've heard thunder in the studio here a couple of times. And here's the downtown camera. This is on top of the DoubleTree, and you can see the rain is pretty much starting to end here. A lot of this storm is starting to push off to the east. And that's where the main concern is going to be now. It's going to be off to the east. Weather Service updating the warning. They've actually taken the chance of that tornado out of the warning. And I will take a look at the rotation very quickly just to see what is going on with this. There was some broad rotation, and it's still there. Let's go back to the high-res radar, and I'll show you what we're looking at. And I'm not, and yeah, there we go. Hey, there I am. And it's this. it's this area you see right here. And again, this is very broad. So essentially when you see the reds and the greens coming together, this is called velocity. And what this product does is it measures how the water droplets are moving relative to the radar, either away from the radar or toward the radar. And when you see these reds and greens coming together, that starts to indicate the storm has rotation. But please keep in mind, a tornado is not broad rotation. It's very tight circulation that touches the ground. That's the definition of a tornado. And broad circulation, that's not a tornado indication. That's just broad circulation. So again, I think the storm right here, I think it's rotating, but in a broad sense. So I don't necessarily think a tornado warning is very appropriate in this case. I do think a severe thunderstorm warning is appropriate in this particular case, because that's not a tornado indication. That's more of broad rotation. And again, you can't get a tornado when the rotation's broad. It needs to be tight, and that's not broad. Now, it looked a little better earlier. I'll actually put this in a time lapse, and when the animation comes up, you'll actually see how it looked a little better back in here, but it looked like it broadened out a little bit more. And there's the newest radar scan. And again, that's the new scan, and that's not, whoops, that is not, boy, oh, it's still time lapsing. That would explain that. There we go. And you can see this right here. That's just broad. That is not a tight velocity signature. And essentially, again, what we look for when it comes to tornadoes is tight circulation, not broad circulation. Let's go back to First Defense Doppler, and we'll show you what's kind of going on here. So again, we just have this one severe thunderstorm warning right now for our area. That's what we're working right now. It is for this. Let's pull this back a little bit out, Andrew, and it sounds like we have a new warning coming in. And you hear the weather radio going off in the weather office. And this is going to be a, let's see. This is going to be a new severe thunderstorm warning for Allegheny, Cattaraugus, and Chautauqua. And we have, it looks like we have Sean Sweatman, who is out in the Storm Interceptor out here tonight. And you can see here, that's probably who called me too, was probably Sean. So Sean, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that was you. Otherwise I would have taken your call. But anyway, I'm on the air anyway, so I can't really take phone calls when I'm on the air. But essentially what the Weather Service has done is they have extended the severe thunderstorm warning to include Cattaraugus and Allegheny counties as this as the storm continues to move through. And in this box here, you see Sean Sweatman, who is our partnered storm chaser. He is out chasing. Not entirely sure where he is. I'm going to try to get I'm going to try to get in contact with him and see where he is. And you can see right here again, you can see the hail 1 inch and the wind 60 miles an hour. So this is mainly going to be the main threat with this storm, and it's moving pretty quickly at almost 50 miles an hour. So they are essentially taking this warning that is currently in effect for the eastern part of Chautauqua County, and they're moving it eastward to include more of Cattaraugus and over into Allegheny counties. Let's take links to full screen here so I can give you a reference as to who's in and who's out of this warning. Again, this is a situation again where it's another situation where if you're in Cattaraugus County, this does not include Olean. So if you are in Olean, I know a lot of times you hear the county name and you think, I'm in a warning. Well, these polygons mean if you're not in it, you don't need to do anything. So again, Olean, you're not in this. I would say the northern, and let's zoom right into Olean, Andrew. Let's kind of show a reference for this. I would say if you're in Olean, you're fine. If you're north of I-80, if you're south of 86, you're fine. That's what this looks like. This not a tornado warning. It's a severe thunderstorm warning. I would say if you are near Olean, if you're south of I-86, you're fine. It is going to be for north of 86, riding along, I'd say Salamanca. This is kind of the storm in question that they're looking at right here. It's kind of these cluster of storms. And again, these are clustered storms. Again, this is what we were expecting today, were these pop-up storms. And so this cluster of storms is moving like this across pretty much across Cattaraugus and Allegheny County. So Salamanca, you're in the warning. Let's move this radar down just a little bit here to see more of Cattaraugus County here. Ellicottville, you're in the polygon. Franklinville, yes. Let's keep going all the way to Allegheny County. It looks like Cuba's in this too. Cuba's in this. Belmont, Houghton, Franklinville, Salamanca, Cattaraugus, Randolph, Olean, no. So the basic thing here is if you are north of 86, you are pretty much under a severe thunderstorm warning. Now, Springville, you're not in this. Arcade, you're on that boundary, so I'm going to say you're in. Pike, you're in Wyoming County, but this is the area that is involved right here. Also includes Friendship, also same thing here. Wellsville in Allegheny County, not in the warning. And it's for these cluster of storms that are moving on through. And again, within there, there could be some damaging straight line winds and some large hail. I want to take a look at the Ville product one more time, just to see what we have in terms of hail. And, oh yeah, we have a couple spikes showing up here. If we can take the high-res radar, I'll show you what we're looking at here. There's a couple of spikes within here that could definitely show there could be some hail. It's going to be right about in here. That is north of East Randolph. That's now pretty much northeast of Randolph, near East Randolph. That could be some hail. And right in here, this might be the most damaging part right here. That white core right there is about 60 to 70 kilograms per cubic meter. And this is the Ville product. And again, Ville, it's highly scientific as into what this product is, but the basic rule of thumb here is that Ville is a good indication of hail. When you see the brighter colors, that basically indicates the better chance for hail. And this right in here could be about 60 to 70 on the metric. And I'm going to actually dissect that very quickly just to see what we have going on within that storm. And I am going to check it out over here. And again, you're looking at the same storm that I'm dissecting. It's this right here. And this could be hail upwards of, let's see this here. It looks like it's actually gone down on the newest radar scan. And again, here it is here. The radar system is suggesting it's suggesting 1¼ inches for that. Not sure if that's really correct, but again, these radar systems, you don't take these radar systems to the bank for what they're showing. Again, you can just use it as a guide, but I don't think hail that large. Checking a chat here. We're in a chat session, all of us internally. Chat internally, and we've got a report from Sean, who is out in the storm interceptor. He says that he's got flooding along Foote Avenue. He's on Route 60 towards Frewsburg. That was at 7:10. So there definitely could be, and so again, there could be some heavy rain that's falling here. Again, you can see that's Sean's live stream right there, and so that could very well be some heavy rain that has come through. And again, that's the thing we also got to remember is that these storms could be producing some heavy rain as well. Torrential downpours could very well be possible in this whole thing. So what you're looking at on the left side of your screen is Sean Sweatman. He is out in the storm interceptor. He's our partnered storm chaser. And again, as he gets into the rural areas, his live stream is going to come and go as he gets into the rural areas and he gets into better cell coverage out there. But the last reported location was on Route 60 heading towards Frewsburg. So he looks like he's probably on 60 heading into Frewsburg right now. I'm sorry? Okay, so Andrew just said that this could be downtown Frewsburg. He could be going through Frewsburg at this point, and it kind of looks like he might be going through downtown Frewsburg. Again, I should know this all too well. I go to Frewsburg a lot, so I should know exactly where this is, but that's what it's looking like. He's traveling through Frewsburg right now, and more than likely he's going to intercept the storm coming into Cattaraugus County. So what we're dealing with right now is pop-up showers and storms that are coming through. And these showers and storms. Okay, and Leslie said he is leaving Frewsburg, so I'm going to take you on your word for that, that he is leaving Frewsburg. And again, this is Sean Sweatman. Again, he's our partnered storm chaser out there today, and so he's more than likely going to be heading into Cattaraugus County to kind of to be in a good position to kind of see something if we have something within this cluster of storms. And again, this cluster of storms could be producing some damaging straight line winds and some severe sized hail. The hail today, again, I want to kind of ease everybody's minds here because I know a lot of people will probably have the event of what happened in April on their minds where we had, what was it, like golf ball sized hail up near Westfield. I don't think we're going to have that kind of hail today, but I think out of all of the severe weather parameters, it's mainly going to be a damaging wind gust threat, and you can see it here. But there could be some large hail within this, up to the size of an inch, maybe a little bit bigger. And you can see the radar system is kind of indicating about 1¼ inch. Might be overestimating that a little bit, but again, that's called an estimation. So you never take those things to the bank. But again, that's what the radar is estimating. That doesn't mean you're going to get 1¼ inch size hail. That's just an estimation based on the radar data. So let's do a wide view across Western New York, and let's do a reset here very quickly. If you're just joining us, we're coming up on 7:20 on Saturday afternoon. On Saturday night, it's actually not really afternoon anymore. It's almost 7:20. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter with Andrew Stevenson in the First Defense Weather Center, and we have pretty much a severe weather situation ongoing here with pop-up showers and storms across the southern tier. These storms are producing damaging winds and possibly some large hail. Now, the one thing that's encouraging is this line of storms, as you see it on the time lapse. Notice how intense they were, but watch what happens as they cross Lake Erie. They pretty much weakened, and this is what we were looking at, was this line of storms as it came across Lake Erie. Again, Lake Erie is about 50 degrees, and that relatively cold water is helping to weaken this whole line of storms. Now, what we have to keep an eye on is, could these storms re-strengthen as they work eastward? It's a possibility, but it looks like this is mainly going to be the biggest impact. It's going to be from these pop-up showers and storms down here. This is the line that's going to move through, but right now it looks like that Lake Erie pretty much did its job of holding a lot of the severe activity at bay, and this is really going to be the biggest threat, I think, for the southern tier. It's going to be these pop-up showers and storms that we have going across the area right now. And also wanted to mention as well, if you have any damage reports to send to us, you can feel free to drop them in the comments. If you get a picture, please do it safely. You can feel free to message that. I'm monitoring my social media as well. I'm at HuntersWX, Facebook and Twitter. You can post it right here to our Facebook page as well. You can tweet it to us as well, and we will vet these stuff on the fly. And if it's and we will try our best to possibly put them on the air as well. But again, don't put yourself in danger. Don't take a picture if you're in danger, just only if you are in a safe place here, and you can do so safely. So right now we're just working severe thunderstorm warnings. We do not, want to rest you ease, do not have any severe, we don't have any tornado warnings across the region tonight. Now, could that change? Yeah, that's a possibility. But again, I don't think it's expected. I think what this is going to be is, this is almost sort of like a replay of Thursday, where we had storms that moved through that produced damaging winds and some hail. I think this is mainly going to be a repeat of that. I don't necessarily think this is going to be a tornado issue. But again, when it comes to thunderstorms, you what, Andrew? When it comes to thunderstorms, you expect the unexpected, right? Yeah. Andrew's still a little shy when it comes to camera stuff, but we'll get him there. So anyway, let's get serious back here again. So let's zoom right into this, and we'll dissect this once again. So this is what we're working right now. This is a severe thunderstorm warning that is currently in effect for Chautauqua County. It's really the new warning that's in effect. This is the little part of Chautauqua County they warned for. This little itty bitty little section of the county right here. It's mainly this northern storm that they're warning for. So it is now pretty much east of Cattaraugus. It's heading up towards Franklinville. And pretty much this is what they're warning for within these cluster of storms. And again, within these cluster of storms, there could be damaging straight line winds and some large hail. The VIL on here is still looking pretty good. Let's go back to the high res radar off WXO2, and this is the VIL product off this storm right here that's now crossing into Allegheny County, and the VIL on that is still looking pretty good. It's down a little bit from what it was, but the VIL on it is still pretty good. And if we could go to the high res radar on WXO2, I'll show you that. This storm, there we go. And you can see here, this is the VIL right here. That's the maximum area of VIL, that red area. And again, there could be some hail within that. The radar system has suggested 1¼ inches. I think that might be overestimating the hail size a little bit, but there definitely could be some hail within that storm. Here's the second one coming up behind it, and this one just doesn't seem to have a whole lot of large hail within it. Now, when you see this, there could be some hail within there, but I don't think it's severe-sized hail. This could be something a little bit smaller that's coming up behind it, and this is near Little Valley, and where you see this orange area right here, that could be some hail size falling here. But again, I don't think a lot of this is severe sized hail. I think a lot of this is smaller hail. And we will look at the velocity one more time, and just to see what's going on there. And again, what you see maybe right in here, that could be an area of broad rotation. But again, as I told you earlier, a tornado is not broad rotation, it's tight circulation, and that just looks way too broad. But again, there could be some broad rotation going on within that. And in here, we just don't see pretty much anything here that would suggest that there's possibly some storm rotation. So again, I think it's mainly a hail threat and a damaging wind gust threat. Mainly a lot of damaging wind gust threat as well. Getting reports here that there's a lot of flooding going on in Jamestown right now. If you are able to send us pictures of that, we'd be very interested to see that. And again, I would not really be surprised if we do have some flooding problems going on. Even though we have no flash flood warnings, I would not be a bit surprised if we do have some flooding going on because of how intense the rainfall is on these storms. And I will put the reflectivity back on, and this is what you normally see when you look at radar. This is essentially the energy from the storms bouncing off the radar beam and essentially returning back to the radar. This is what you normally see, and and again, the darker colors indicate the heavier amounts of rain, or the heavier returned echoes. So what we're going to do is let's go back again. Haven't seen anything so far from the Weather Service right now about any more warnings at this point. Let's see. Don't see anything so far talking about, again, I don't necessarily think that the Weather Service is going to issue a severe thunderstorm watch for Western New York. Now I say that I don't expect it, and the reason for that is because a lot of this is isolated activity. This is not sort of like a widespread activity event. Now, again, the watch is still active for Warren, Crawford, and Erie counties in Pennsylvania. That goes until 10 o'clock, but that watch does not include any part of Western New York. You can see it here, all these counties that are shaded in pink. That is a severe thunderstorm watch that goes actually until, you're over in Ohio there, Andrew. Let's pull it back over here. a little bit. So yeah, this goes until 10 o'clock. So for Northwest PA, this watch goes until 10 o'clock. It's until 9 o'clock out to the western Ohio. But this is for Warren, Crawford, and Erie counties. That goes until 10 o'clock. This severe thunderstorm watch does not include any part of western New York. Could it eventually? Yeah, but I don't really, I don't expect that. As these storms are really just becoming very isolated in nature, and I don't necessarily think that a severe thunderstorm watch in this area is appropriate. You can see that they have a severe thunderstorm warning south of Warren County, but again, that storm is kind of moving to the east. So again, I don't necessarily think that they're going to issue a warning for Warren County. Again, you can see here that storm south of Warren. So again, that's not going to impact Warren at all. That's kind of moving to the east. So what we have right now is we're working one severe thunderstorm warning, and it is for this right here. This section of, it's essentially this section of Chautauqua County going into Cattaraugus County and then going into Allegheny County. Now, this is the original severe thunderstorm warning. That goes until 7:30. So in 2 more minutes, that warning will likely expire because I don't see any sort of reissuance coming on that. It's mainly going to be this area right here, and it's going to be this storm here that is east of Little Valley, and this cluster of storms out near Houghton going into Allegheny County. And again, within here, there could be some damaging straight line winds and some large hail. The hail today could be up to quarter size, but I don't think, but again, I don't think this is going to be an event like we had in April, where we had the golf ball sized hail that came across Westfield. I don't think this is the same event. And again, you know, I don't like analogs, and I don't think this is an analog to this event. This is almost sort of like a repeat of what happened on Thursday. And again, here's the downtown camera from on top of the Doubletree, and you can see there's, again, you can see the wet roads here. But again, the weather for now has pretty much ended here. Weather Service is issuing a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is not for here. This is for Genesee, Livingston, Monroe, Ontario, Wyoming. So they're taking that severe thunderstorm warning that is in the Buffalo Metro, and they're extending it over. And I'd be interested to see if that includes Rochester. I don't know if it's popped up yet, Andrew. Can we show that? I don't know if it's popped up yet. I don't see it. Let me check over here. It just was issued, so they have issued it. So this does not even include Rochester. You can see it's right here. It includes areas south of Rochester, but again, not really our coverage area, but that's a new severe thunderstorm warning that is out for areas south of Rochester. It does not include the Rochester Metro. It's basically south of there. Let's see what they're doing here. Weather Service, they've canceled a marine warning, so we don't have that. But we don't see anything regarding the severe thunderstorm warnings that are in effect for Cattaraugus County. So this will remain in effect, and it is for this southern flank of the storm right here that could be producing some damaging straight line winds and some large hail. And for this section of Allegheny County, that is for areas north of Wellsville. And there definitely could be some damaging straight line winds within that, maybe some hail as well. The tornado risk today has been rather low, and we did not expect tornadoes to be the main factor here. We expected this mainly to be damaging winds and some large hail as well. again. So this is what we're working. It is this severe thunderstorm warning that is out for Cattaraugus and Allegheny counties. And for Cattaraugus County, it is mainly this right here that is kind of northeast of Salamanca near Franklinville. And the storm motion on this is pretty much to the east. So the storm is moving this way. And this is going to ultimately cross over into Allegheny County. And these are these pop-up storms that pretty much formed earlier today. They started to intensify as we were expecting them to. Now, we did have a line of showers and storms. Let's do a wide view once again, and we'll show you what's happened with that line of storms. The line kind of fizzled out. You can see here, it's this line that's coming across Lake Erie. The lake actually kind of helped to rip a lot of this apart and has since weakened a lot of this. However, what you see here near Batavia, you notice how the storms are refiring as they head eastward. This is because the storms are moving away from that lake influence and they're starting to redevelop as they work inland. However, this squall line, we were looking at all the model data, and originally it looked like the squall line was going to come in on the back edge of this whole thing and come in tonight. It looks like, looking at this, it's pulling it more towards the Buffalo Metro. So I kind of think after we get through with this whole mess down here, I think this squall line is pulling more to the north. So this is going to be mainly a problem for the Buffalo Metro going out into Rochester. I don't necessarily think, now this could clip the southern tier. It's definitely possible. It is definitely possible that this squall line could clip the southern tier, but it looks like it's pulling more to the northeast. And with that being the case, this is going to be more of a threat for the Buffalo Metro going out to Rochester. So again, these storms, they've weakened because of Lake Erie, but they could refire again as they work inland. And you can see that already out near Batavia. This is the reason why the new warning was issued, because the storm, watch it how it just refired as it worked inland. There's better dynamic support over here, so that has allowed the storms to refire. Newsroom reports multiple trees down in Brookwood Estates, and that's again, they definitely issued that is a mobile home park, and Brookwood Estates is, I'm trying to remember where it is. Brookwood Estates is on the, I believe it is out near Frewsburg, right? It's on the eastern end of the city going out to Frewsburg. So that would probably be, let's kind of zoom into Chautauqua County here and kind of see if we can pinpoint it on the radar here. It would be on the eastern end going out to Frewsburg. So it'd probably be right about, right about in here, I'd say Brookwood Estates is. And our newsroom has reported trees down at the Brookwood Estates Mobile Home Park. And again, I definitely, yes. Tornado warning's been issued for Allegheny County. Okay, so we now have a tornado warning for Allegheny County. So this is a time where we're going to zoom into this and we're going to show you what's going on. Let's stop the animation and we'll put the single site radar data on here. This is now a tornado warning for Allegheny County. And you can see it is this flashing red polygon. So this basically includes Friendship, Wellsville, Andover, Alfred. Angelica, you're not in this. Route to 275, I-86. This is a tornado warning that is now in effect for Allegheny County. And this is when you need to go to a safe place, a small room on the lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. No mobile homes, no cars, no vehicles. This is when you need to implement your severe weather safety plan. And so this is a tornado warning that is in effect for parts of Allegheny County. Please understand, this is not the whole county. If you're in Cuba, you're not involved in this. If you're in Angelica, you're not involved in this. This is for, in Bolivar, you're not even in this either. It is for this section you see right here. And I think that's the area where there was some rotation showing up in that storm. So this is now a tornado warning for Allegheny County that will go until 8:15 tonight. So we're just going to spend some time with you, and we're going to get through this. So again, you can see Andrew has it pulled up here. Though it is a radar indicated rotation. It is moving to the east at 35 miles per hour. So more than likely on this track, it will probably go north of downtown Wellsville. But please keep in mind, these polygons allow for great error with storm motion. So the storm may be moving east right now, but that doesn't mean the storm could take a southern jog as it moves on, as it continues to move down the chute. But right now, this storm is moving east at 35, and this is a tornado warning for Allegheny County. And let's go in there and take a look at it, and let's see what we've got. We'll rapidly punch up the velocity product here and see what we've got. And oh yeah, let's take, there it is. You can see it right here. It is near Friendship. You can see the red and greens coming together. That is what could possibly be a tornado. That looks a little better than what it did. So when you see the reds and greens coming together, that could very well be what could possibly be a tornado that is down in Friendship. We don't know that yet. Again, remember, this radar beam is several thousand feet off the ground. A tornado's down here. The radar beam is up here. So we're not seeing down low, but with that kind of signature, that is a velocity couplet that is right over Friendship right now. And this is moving more towards the east. And so this is a time when you need to take your tornado plan and you need to go through that. Again, small room, lowest floor, near the center, away from windows, no mobile homes, no cars. Nobody needs to be traveling along I-86 going eastbound through pretty much through Allegheny County. None of the highways in Allegheny County you want to be traveling on right now. You all need to be sheltered. And what you see right there, that is a good velocity couplet that is right over Friendship right now. Where you see the reds and the greens coming together, that shows storm rotation. And so that now is a tornado warning until 8:15 tonight for Allegheny County. Let's go back. There it is on First Defense Doppler. And let's put the storm relative velocity on here, Andrew. And we'll see what it looks like on First Defense Doppler just to get a different perspective on it. And it would be kind of right in here. Let's zoom into that. And again, this is essentially the same thing I showed you. Here comes the new radar scan. And it's kind of the same thing I showed you on the high-res radar. This is storm relative velocity. And you can see what right in here could be that area of possible rotation that is over Friendship right now. So again, that is a tornado warning. Again, want to stress this red polygon you see right here that's flashing, that is the tornado warning. You can see it includes Interstate 86. This tornado, if it's here, it's right on top of I-86, right on top of Friendship. So this would be right in here. You can kind of see where the red and the where this essentially where these two colors are coming together. That is essentially where the area of concern is. So nobody, and I mean nobody, needs to be on I-86 going eastbound through Friendship. Nobody should be along I-86 right now. No highway in Allegheny County. You all should be sheltered right now, as we do have potential for a tornado that is down near Friendship. And again, this likely, that could be a donut hole right there where you see that little weak area. That's what we call a beware, a bounded weak echo region, where you don't see a whole lot of reflectivity. We're going to keep our eyes on that. But again, we mainly stick with the velocity because it shows up a lot better. Now, the new radar scan, let's go back to the high-res radar. It looks like on the newest radar scan, it does not appear to be as intense as it once was. The circulation would be right in here. It looks like it kind of may have weakened off just a tad bit, but again, the circulation is still there. Now, one product we have access to, it's part of the new dual polarization products, is called correlation coefficient, and this product essentially, if you know about essentially the radar technology, this is something that just came out a few years ago, and this is essentially essentially what this product does is that it essentially it essentially looks at all of the returned echoes, and it tries to determine what is what. And again, I cannot take phone calls when I'm on the air. So I want to say this as nicely as I can. I cannot take phone calls when I'm on the air, especially now since we have a tornado warning. I just can't. I'm sorry. I can't take phone calls when I'm on the air. But again, this product, this is a product for measuring tornado debris, and the good news is we don't see we don't see any debris that is being lofted in this storm right now. Now, keep in mind, we don't get the debris signatures until after it gets down. So if it's down, we're probably not going to get it for probably a couple radar scans, but that's good. At least we don't have a debris signature going on right now. I'll put the velocity back on here, and you can see the circulation would be right here. That is near Friendship. It is moving to the east. So again, nobody on I-86, nobody eastbound Allegheny County Friendship going eastbound, nobody on I-86, pull off the road, get in a gas station, a restaurant, a convenience store, any site-built structure that'll take you, get in there and wait out this storm. Again, you know, your life is too precious to just ignore this, so please don't do that. Just take it seriously and pull off and go to a site-built structure. Again, if you are in a mobile home or a trailer, some sort of manufactured housing, you cannot stay in that. You need to go to more. You need to go to better structure. And again, mobile homes are not safe during tornado warnings. And again, you can kind of see right in here. And again, here it is on First Defense Doppler. Let's kind of zoom into this a little bit more, because this is the area of concern right in here. Here's the new radar scan. And this storm is kind of now east of Friendship going through Belmont. So again, these are the communities that are involved in the tornado warning. Friendship, Belmont, Wellsville, and over right here, Alfred. I believe the campus, the college that's in Alfred. Andrew, do you know the college name in Alfred? Isn't it just Alfred State? Yeah, so Alfred State, I would say Alfred State is probably in that warning as well. And you can see it here on the high-res radar that this is essentially what we're looking at. It's this right here, and you can see that little weakness right there. Now, that could be a beware, that could not be. But again, when you see something like that, that does look a little suspicious, and it is basically moving east across I-86. So again, you all should be sheltered right now. This is not a time to mess around with this. You need to be in shelter right now. That is a small room, lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. Now, there's a good chance this will pass north of Wellsville. You see, Wellsville is down here, and this is the polygon boundary right down here. And so there is a good chance that this will pass north of Wellsville, but as long as you're in the polygon, I would stay in your safe place no matter what, because storms do have a tendency of jogging. And if this storm jogs, you definitely do not want to be caught off guard by this. So just be in a safe place from this particular storm. And again, I'll put the velocity data back on here. And the rotational signature was located near Friendship. And we'll be getting a new radar scan in very shortly, but you can see right in here would be the area it's basically near concern. Now, with this storm moving at about 45 miles an hour, that would probably put this rotation probably right about in here. The velocity data is delayed, and the reason for that is because the data comes in batches, and it basically the radar tilts and it sends all those scans in one batch. So the radar data can be delayed by a few minutes. But again, a new radar scan will be coming in shortly, and at which point we'll get a new update as to where this velocity signature is. But given that, essentially, given that it's moving pretty much at about 45 miles an hour, that's probably going to place this velocity signature kind of right in here. So this, again, is a tornado warning. And this is for Allegheny County. And again, let's go back to links 2, and we'll show the polygon that's involved in this, and we'll kind of expand this out just a little bit to kind of show you the polygon that is involved. So again, warnings are not issued based on counties. We know a lot of people get confused by this because you hear your county name is involved in a warning, but essentially the Weather Service has not issued county-based warnings in over 10 years. They're issued on polygons. So where you see this flashing red polygon, that is the tornado warning that is in effect. You can see it does not include Cuba, does not include Bolivar. Let's go up to the north a little bit, Andrew, and let's kind of see more of the communities up north. So Houghton, Angelica, Hornell, not involved in this. Fillmore, no, you are not involved in this warning. None of these communities up to the north. Bolivar, you're fine. Cuba, fine. Houghton, fine. Angelica, fine. Hornell, fine. All those communities, you are not under a tornado warning. The places that are under a tornado warning include Wellsville. Let's zoom in a little bit tighter here. So it includes Wellsville, Friendship, Andover, Alfred. I would say Alfred State's also in this. Belmont, the storm is kind of on top of Belmont right now. You can kind of see how the storm has kind of almost a Boeing-shaped echo to it. I think if nothing else, this is going to be a damaging wind gust threat out of nothing else. But again, the radar has shown signs that there could be some rotation. Let's put the storm relative velocity back on here, and we'll just see what it looks like here if we've gotten a new radar scan to come in. And again, the area of concern is going to be kind of right in here. And again, it doesn't really look as well defined as it once did. Let's go back to the high-res radar, and it does not look as good as it once did. You can see it's kind of broadening out a little bit, which is good. When it broadens out, that may mean that the storm has weakened a little bit, which is great, but it doesn't look as well defined as it once did, maybe just a couple minutes ago. But the thing we also have to remember is now we're getting farther away from the radar site. And the way Doppler radar works is that the beam goes in a straight line and the Earth curves. So as you get farther away from the radar, the beam gets higher and higher and higher. And the problem we're getting down here is we're starting to get these scans that are higher up. I'm actually going to measure this and see how far we are away from the radar site. Again, the radar we're using is the Buffalo NexRad, which is on the grounds of the Buffalo Airport. And we're going to do a measure tool and just see how far off the ground we are here. And it'll work a lot better on my end over here. I would imagine the radar beam is probably a good several thousand feet off the ground right now. And I am going to go here. So again, what you're looking at is the high-res radar back behind me, and that would be the velocity signature that we're looking at. Again, the velocity signature really is, it does not look as impressive as it once did, which is good. That could mean that the storm has started to weaken off a little bit. But in terms of the beam height, we're about 5,000 feet off the ground down here. So again, you know, tornadoes happen down here, the radar is looking up here. So essentially, we don't know for sure if there's something going on here. That's why we need spotters. Now, again, the problem we're running into is that we're starting to get into nightfall, and it's going to be harder to see things as we get into sunset. but that's why we need spotters. We need more of you. That is why being trained in storm spotting is a good idea, because we need more spotters. We don't have that many, and we definitely could use a whole lot more storm spotters than what we have out here. So what we're working right now is we have a tornado warning that is currently in effect for Allegheny County. And you can see it here on First Defense Doppler. This is essentially what the system is suggesting. It's moving east at 35. And if anything else, if there's no tornado here, it's going to be a damaging straight line wind threat. You can see how the storm kind of has a bowing segment to it. So this could be damaging straight line winds if nothing else. But again, damaging straight line winds can produce damage that's equal to a tornado. So it really doesn't matter. You just need to be in a safe place no matter what. But there's also a severe thunderstorm warning. This was initially the severe thunderstorm warning that was issued initially. And you can see they did put tornado possible in the text of this warning. And they've trimmed the warning back a little bit. So let's go into this. So it looks like that they've actually cleared areas out to the east. Again, this is a new update to the tornado warning. And essentially what they've done is, let's zoom right into that polygon, and we'll kind of dissect this, and we'll give some all clears here. So yeah, let's kind of zoom kind of like right into that, and let's see what we've got going on here. So Friendship, you're out of this tornado warning. They've trimmed you out. So if you are in Friendship, you're fine to go about your business. You are not in a tornado warning now. Belmont, it's really too close. Even though I'd say downtown Belmont is not in this warning anymore, it does include areas out to the east. Some people might have a Belmont mailing address, so I would still stay in your safe place, because again, even though you're not technically in it anymore, it's just a little too close for comfort, and I would still stay in your safe place, especially if you have a Belmont mailing address out to the east. Wellsville, you're still in this. They've actually trimmed the warning back a little bit. So basically, let's go into this Wellsville situation, and let's see what's going on here. Woo, there we go. And so essentially, downtown Wellsville is right here. You're on the edge of that polygon. So I'm just going to say, Wellsville, stay in your safe place. That's going to be my that's my recommendation here, is to just stay in your safe place. Even though the polygon, they've kind of trimmed it back to not include downtown Wellsville, I would still stay in your safe place no matter what. And this also includes County Highway 417 and going out here. And you can see the polygon starts to expand as we go out to the east. And the overall tornado indication is going to be right in here, and it's moving this away. So this is coming up towards Andover. So if you're in Andover, you're still in this warning, and you still need to be in a safe place. Again, so if you are west of, I'm going to say west of Wellsville, I'm going to say now, if you are, I'm going to say west of Belmont, you're fine. Now, even though downtown Belmont is not in this polygon, at least anymore, you're too close for comfort, and some people may have a Belmont mailing address, especially out to the east. So I would still stay in your safe place in Belmont for just a little while longer. But if you are west of Belmont, you're fine. The tornado warning has been trimmed back. You're out of that. So if you're west of Belmont, you're fine. Now, you still have a severe thunderstorm warning, but the tornado risk from Friendship right in here is over. It is now confined to this eastern part, going out to Andover, going now. The Weather Service in Binghamton is going to look at this and see if they're going to extend this over into Steuben County. Again, Steuben County kind of goes into central New York, not our coverage area, but we'll see if the Weather Service extends that. That would be something that would come from, and again, if any extension were to come from this, it's going to be out here in essentially in the next county over, which is Steuben County, and that may include Hornell. But again, that's not our coverage area, but if any extension were to come, it would be for Steuben County. So again, that's the tornado warning that we're looking at here. And let's go back to the high-res radar, and I want to show you kind of like what this thing looks like on the velocity, because you can see right here, it kind of almost has a bowing segment to it. So I think probably now what's likely happened here is that the storm has started to get away from some of the better dynamic support, and the storm has started to weaken a little bit. But again, there could be some damaging straight line winds within this line, and this essentially kind of has a bowing segment to it, so that could be some damaging straight line winds. But as long as that tornado warning is active, I would still stay in your safe place, no matter what. So that tornado warning will continue until 8:15, but really the storm motion on this, it looks like it's going to take it out into Steubenton County probably around 8. So we'll see what they do with this, but again, any extension is not going to include any part of Allegheny County at that point. It would include Steubenton County out to the east. The good news is, let's do a wide view. There we go, Andrew. You see, this is why we love Andrew, because he's forward thinking. But you can see here, this is what we're dealing with. Essentially, for the western areas right now, it looks like we're pretty much out of the clear right now. This is what was coming through earlier as it came across Lake Erie. The Lake Erie basically ripped this whole line of showers and thunderstorms apart. And but as you work up toward the Buffalo Metro, you can see how it weakened, and then watch the storms re-strengthen again as they work inland. So, but it looks like this squall line is moving up towards the Buffalo Metro area, and any threat from that squall line is going to be in the Buffalo Metro. I think for the southern tier, this was our main action with these pop-up showers and storms. I don't expect that this squall line is going to refire in the southern tier. I think this was pretty much our main action for today with these storms that popped up across the southern tier. And again, the severe thunderstorm warning for Cattaraugus County has actually been canceled. So we don't have any warnings except for that tornado warning in Allegheny County. But really, that storm, we'll go back into it, and we'll stop the animation, and we'll dissect that again very quickly. Again, the storm motion on this is kind of to the east at about 35 miles an hour, 35, 40. So really, I think probably by the time 8 o'clock rolls around, this is going to be out of Allegheny County over into Steubenton County. And again, whether or not the Weather Service in Binghamton will extend that, we don't know yet. But the storm really looks like it's... we'll show you the high-res radar return very quickly one more time. And again, I'll just show you here that the overall rotation just doesn't look impressive. This is mainly a damaging straight line wind event. You can see on the velocity how the line has really started to bow out a little bit. We'll put the storm relative velocity on there. There you go. And you can see how the line, and again, there's the new radar sweep. And again, you can see how the line kind of has more of like a bowing segment to it. Again, I think this is mainly going to be a damaging straight line wind event as we progress. Looks like Sean is going to go live on Carlsberg Road for trees down in a trailer park. Again, I would assume that would be the trailer park in which we had the report of trees down. We're going to work on that. But again, we have had reports of trees down at a trailer park east of the city going out towards Frewsburg. We've had reports of flooding around the city because of heavy rain. But the good news is, at this point, it looks like the main threat of these storms is pretty much over. And I'm noticing here, so again, the western areas, and again, that's the storm in question here near Andover. But again, I really think this is mainly going to be a straight line wind event. I don't necessarily think this is going to be a tornado event looking forward. Again, there's the new radar sweep. And again, I just really think that storm has really just started to weaken off. And but there could be some damaging straight line winds, so make no mistake about that. There could be some damaging straight line winds. So let's do a wide view of Western New York. It's 8 o'clock, and we're going to do a wide view. Let's do a reset of what we have. If you are in Chautauqua County, we're fine. Essentially, all this is now out to the east, and this essentially is not even severe either out here near Olean, and this is now going to be a problem going out to the east. And you can see that squall line. Again, that squall line, again, actually, that squall line earlier. We were watching it pretty much all day, and we saw that squall line fire out in Canada. We saw it move across the Niagara Peninsula, and it looked very robust. But as it crossed Lake Erie, the cold waters of Lake Erie ripped that sucker apart. But ultimately, as the storms are moving into better dynamic support as they move inland, they're starting to refire. But it looks like this is moving all to the northeast. So this is mainly going to be a problem for the Buffalo Metro, not for the southern tier. So again, the southern tier today, we've just had these pop-up showers and storms happening all day today. And again, it was like a radar lover's delight seeing these showers and storms pop up across the region today. And this is Sean Sweatman. He is live at the mobile home park. And I believe this is the mobile home park where we had reports of trees down. And again, you can see some of the damage that is here on the roadway. And again, this is coming from Sean, and looks like there could be some damage there on the roads. Definitely the rain that's fallen there. Could be some tree branches down there. Now, again, I mentioned this on Thursday. Wanted to mention it again, that Sean is a trained storm spotter. We don't put anybody in danger. Sean has been trained for many years. He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows how to keep himself safe, and he knows that, and essentially he's not going to put anybody else in danger. He knows how to keep himself safe, and we ask you, do not go out and storm chase if you have not been trained, because you can get in trouble very, very quickly. And but Sean knows exactly what he's doing, and he gets in the southwestern flank of a storm, looks back to the north, and he knows how to keep himself safe in these situations. So again, Sean is showing damage at the mobile home park. What is supposed damage at the mobile home park that was hit. And that's at the Brookside Estates mobile home park that is east of Jamestown, going out towards Frewsburg. Good news is severe thunderstorm watch has been dropped for Erie and Crawford counties. They've actually been taken out of the severe thunderstorm watch, which is good news. And it will continue for Warren County, but again, I think that's even going to be canceled as well. So essentially, this is what we have. This is the big picture. Essentially, for all of us right now, we are essentially fine. All of the severe weather problems are now heading out to the east. And then again, it looks like we have a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is going to be essentially for Steuben County for that tornado warning that is coming out of Allegheny County. So it looks like essentially that the Weather Service in Binghamton is going to just issue a severe thunderstorm warning, not a tornado warning. So again, they probably believe that storm has weakened below, and there it is. The Weather Service has just canceled that tornado warning. So in a minute, you're going to see that boop, pop off the board, and so it is over. So at 8:04, that tornado warning is over. So at this point, let's take the downtown camera very quickly. Just show you what's going on here, and just to show you here that the rain is pretty much ended in downtown Jamestown. This is the Sky Vision camera that's on top of the Doubletree Hotel downtown, and you can see the rain is pretty much ended here. You can see the wet roads down here, but the rain is pretty much ended here, and I really think that's it for today. And producer is asking to Andrew. Producer is asking if you could do a reset wide on the radar. Just do Western New York wide, do the Western New York preset, and we'll just show you a reset one more time to show you what is going on. And at this point, here's what we have going on right now. So again, all the severe weather problems are out to the east. That's where they're going to stay. This line of showers and thunderstorm activity well to the north. So for the southern tier, we're pretty much it. Now again, that's a severe thunderstorm watch does remain in effect until 10 o'clock for Warren County. Don't think it'll last. Think they may X that pretty soon. But now, since we have no warnings in effect for any part of our coverage area, we're going to wrap up coverage. So we want to thank you for joining us on this Saturday night, and hope you stay safe. Have a wonderful and fantastic Memorial Day weekend, and we will see you right back here Monday morning at noon for a special edition of News Now at noon. For Andrew Stevenson, Justin Gould, Matt Hummel, Rory Polero, everybody in the newsroom, I'm Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you Monday.
This is a First Defense Weather Alert.